Welcome to the inaugural episode of Play for Blood, presented by Culture Copia. Let's raise them, guys. Woo!
Beer sponsored by One Beer at a Time today.
Yep. We have Jim from One Beer at a Time podcast coming on. It's that guy sitting all the way over there to my left. And then this other guy sitting directly to my left is unimportant. So, no, this is my good buddy Casey. We love him. Sometimes a little too much.
It was a very homoerotic tap there.
Oh, you've been calling me names, huh?
I felt so aggressive.
Are you okay? You need some ice?
The only thing more homoerotic than that is the Top Gun volleyball scene.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get there.
I don't know.
We'll get there at some point. Hold on.
Just a bunch of fat guys breathing into microphones.
What a way to start this off with a great big sneeze. All right. So the reason I say presented by Culture Copia is because I do another podcast called Culture Copia with Rob, who is our producer, and a couple other guys who are not here right now. And I wanted to do this kind of like little side project where we talk about action films. There's a lot of movie podcasts out there. You know, a lot of them, I'm sure you guys have noticed, are like there's a lot of horror movie podcasts. So like that market's kind of saturated. You know, comedy, you know, it gets brought up in a lot of other movie podcasts. So I thought, you know, I want to talk about movies. I love movies. I've always loved movies. What's a movie genre that hasn't completely saturated the podcast scene? And I felt like action was the right answer for that. And these guys here, I've known Casey for how long?
I gotta think.
Like, dude,
I would say about 9 or 10 years now. Ava's 13. We met when she was 3.
Yeah.
So 10.
About a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe even a little longer.
Maybe a little longer.
The first time I met you was that at the concert?
Bastille.
Where
we made love. Sweet, passionate love.
We did cuddle on the lawn.
It was a group effort.
It was a group cuddle. And I mean, one of the things, I mean, we talk about movies a lot.
Yeah.
And I know you're a big action movie guy. So that just kind of felt right. And I met Jim not too terribly long ago.
It was the One Beer at a Time Culture Copia Lost Christmas episode.
Yes.
It was the first time I met Matt. And so kind of like why I said beers sponsored by One Beer at a Time today is that Rob is also our producer for One Beer at a Time.
Yes.
And then Matt is now our other co-host for One Beer at a Time.
Right.
Because I'm getting ready to have a kid, needed somebody to help that can kind of step in when I can't be there, help do some of our road shows. So all beers on the podcast sponsored by One Beer at a Time, and it's a Culture Copia production. I mean, you know, and fuck, dude, we work together as well.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Pretty much most of our conversations at work are either food, because we're fat.
Yes, that's true.
Or film.
Yep, because we're fat.
Because we're fat.
And so I'm kind of stepping in on One Beer at a Time. And just to be clear, I also have kids, but I'm just a neglectful father, so I can go on the road.
Oh no, I fully intended. Don't get me wrong, I fully intended to neglect my children down the road, but when the first one pops out, I gotta at least pretend to be a present father.
I still owe you child support, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Casey may or may not be the father of my youngest child. Jury's out.
Jury's out.
Jury's out. All right. So enough about all that stupid bullshit. Let's talk action movies, guys.
Playing for blood.
We're gonna play for blood today for the first time, and hopefully long, far away from the last time.
Who are we playing for blood with today?
We are playing for blood with the one, the only, Mr. Arnold.
Arnold, it is me, Arnold.
Schwarzenegger.
We're going to talk about Arnold. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be like we are coming the entire time. It's going to be the case.
That Jim showed me that.
Do you
know what he's referencing right now?
No.
So there was, what was it, like a documentary or something?
So there's a documentary from when he was still a bodybuilder. Mm-hmm. It's called Pumping Iron. And there is a scene where he talks about how like lifting and getting his muscles pumped up and then being out on stage, and he says like 4 or 5 times that these different things that they give him the feeling like he is coming, and so
I have seen that,
and as you can imagine that then it is like I'm always coming, it's incredible, I'm always coming.
Nope, I've seen that on Instagram.
And that's a real, like, people hear me quote that and they're like, that's not real. I'm like, here it is. He fucking said that. Like 1978, motherfucker said, I'm coming all the time.
Well, I mean, that just sounds amazing.
Yeah. So I kind of want to run through this part real quick. What's like the first Arnold movie you saw?
Oh, God. I had to have been Terminator.
Oh, wow.
Really?
I think it was Terminator.
Okay.
Well, I was still a kid, so it was the one where he was the teacher. Which one's that?
Kindergarten
Cop.
Kindergarten
Yeah.
Cop.
Okay.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, that actually, my brother and I always had an obsession with Arnold Schwarzenegger. My brother especially, he would, anytime, we were well after he was a bodybuilder, but he would always be on the cover of Muscle magazines and all this shit.
Yeah.
And my brother would always like get those magazines. He loved Arnold. We also loved Stan Winston. We were super nerdy into movies as kids. So like we're a few kids that know who Stan Winston is. Are you guys familiar with Stan Winston?
No.
So
by name?
Yeah.
I'm not
sounds
a name
familiar.
person. I'm a face person.
So Stan Winston is the like
Here, you talk about what's up.
He's the effects artist and creator. He designed the Terminator skeletons. He designed the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. So Stan Winston, he's like Jim Henson, but of violent things.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
He looks sort of familiar.
Yep,
I think I have like maybe read some articles about him or something like in regards to those things. Yeah.
So like I want to say Terminator 2. It's probably one of the first R-rated movies I ever saw.
Yeah.
Probably the first Arnold movie that I really like. And then from there, I mean, we watched all the 80s movies.
Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop. But
I remember very, very young watching True Lies.
that's, you know what? That's one of the first 3 R-rated movies I think I ever saw in my life. True Lies, Terminator 2, and River Wild.
Okay.
Kevin Bacon and John C. Reilly.
Yes, Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
And that guy.
Yeah, the one Jewish looking guy.
Yeah, like he's been in other things, but he's not enough of a name for me to be like, I don't know. I can't even come up with a fucking name for him. Like, I don't even know what he looks like. A Stanley. He looks like a Stanley.
He does look like a Stanley.
But not the Tooch.
Not the Tooch.
Not
the Tooch
it wasn't
the man.
the Tooch. The Tooch is the man.
Tooch gang.
I do. My dad was really into. He always loved horror movies, and he always loved action movies. And I think True Lies sort of was like that coming together for him because like Halloween was one of his favorites.
Yeah,
with Jamie Lee Curtis, and then of course you have Arnold in there. So like I remember watching it, and then like growing up and watching it again, and I was like, why did I watch that when I was so young? And I don't know. But I did mention this on the other podcast like very recently about the scene in True Lies where Jamie Lee Curtis is like getting herself all presentable and shit. Like that stuck out to me as like oddly sexy.
Well, so you talk about seeing that movie young. Yeah. I remember my parents showed that to us young because they thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Jim Cameron, by the way, people forget that old Jimmy Cameron movie.
The old Jimmy Cams.
But I do remember them making my brother and I close our eyes for the strip scene.
Okay.
Like which hindsight, it's not actually even that. There's no nudity in that scene. You don't see your titties.
That's the worst.
Yeah. But they just they were cool with us. They were cool with us seeing a guy get shot with a missile.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. There's some pretty violent scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
They're cool with all that.
Yeah.
I just don't see a woman in lingerie.
Yeah.
Do you think that has affected you sexually in your adult life?
Some of my favorite porn is striptease porn.
I thought you were going to say rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Dude, I love when girls just, gun. They call it gunplay in the fetish world.
It's called blast out.
Yeah, when you search for girl getting blasted in the face, they're two different.
It's
videos.
just a rocket launcher.
You're looking for the cum shot. I'm looking for the rocket shot.
I'm looking for the face getting pushed back violently.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
or for Al Qaeda shooting rockets the wrong way.
Are we sure that we're not putting porno in action as well with this podcast?
Well, I mean, I do actually have a favorite porno.
Okay.
We've talked about this. I've told you about this. It's not so much of a porno as it is a parody. It's called Bat Babe, the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And that kind of falls within action.
It's in the same vein.
It's in the same vein. There's lots of
Edward
veins.
Penis Hands.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we went off the
What
rails.
was your favorite, or not favorite? What did you say your first? Kindergarten Cop. Kindergarten Cop. That was probably an early one that I saw.
Because I remember being like 8 or 9, almost 10, whenever I saw Total Recall. And I remember Total Recall, and because of course there was just so much horrific CGI, and I just remember when I was watching it, my mom was always worried about. She wasn't worried about the killing or the nudity. It was always the cursing.
Okay.
Because she felt like that's what I'm going to pick up first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when he's getting pushed through, he's like, fuck. And I was just like, oh yeah, take this in. I will be screaming that for the rest of the day now.
Do you guys know what his first, Arnold Schwarzenegger's first movie role was?
Would that be Hercules in New York?
Hercules in New York. Did you do your research? Or did
No,
you just
I know that. I know that.
Why do you know that?
I told you I'm a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan.
That's the strangest thing I've heard anybody say.
Oh no, the best part is there's two versions of that movie. There's the dubbed over version and there's the Arnold version.
Yeah.
And the dubbed over version is fucking hilarious. It is one of the especially because you're not watching that having never seen Arnold Schwarzenegger act. Mm-hmm. You're watching that if you're ever watching it, which there's no reason you would.
I don't think there's a reason anybody
if you're ever watching that movie, you're watching it after having already seen, his core, Commando, True Lies, the Terminator movies, all of his most famous roles, Predator. Yeah. You're then seeing it, and so you know what his voice sounds like, his very distinct Austrian accent.
Of course.
And the dubbed over version, it just sounds like a normal, just average Midwestern white dude with no accent. And so you've got fucking hulking ass Arnold Schwarzenegger dressed as Hercules running around New York, and it sounds like me.
Yeah.
And it is one of the funniest things you could ever fucking watch.
That's
get really high and go watch that.
That's better than what always bothered me, and not to jump off of the topic of Schwarzenegger, but since we're talking about dubs and things like that, those old and I don't know if this is a derogatory term now, but spaghetti westerns, those old Italian westerns,
because and I can say this, I have a vowel at the end of my name. I know I'm a dirty fucking potato head. I'm an Irishman, but I have an Italian last name. Yeah. We don't get offended by shit.
Yeah.
No Italian is ever like, hey, how dare you fucking call that shit spaghetti western?
That's just what it is. That's what they're known as.
Yeah.
Well, I'm offended.
Well, it's because of it's because of the director.
It was all they were all Italian directors, and they flew a lot of those actors out to Italy to make those.
Yeah. And then the most famous score, Ennio Morricone, The Ecstasy of Gold.
Yeah, from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
Now those films, since we're talking about dubs, they always bothered me because the American actors in those films were speaking English.
Yeah.
But then they dubbed them with their own voice. So you see Clint Eastwood, you hear Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And for some reason it's
split second delay.
Yeah, it's when you illegally download movies.
Yeah.
And there's a lag.
Yeah.
There's always a lag in those movies. There's nothing you can do about it.
I would love to say I know what you're talking about, but I've never illegally downloaded anything.
I mean, neither have I. Nice wink. I hope we got that on camera. And if not, I just called you out. But anyway, back to Arnold. Let's.
So you asked me. You were shocked I knew what it was.
Yeah.
Did you do your research before?
Oh, minimally, dude. I am not prepared for this.
I'm fantastic. So, I mean, that's
you are. I barely knew how to get here.
That's true. We are gonna have a quiz segment later, and I have a feeling that you're going down because I didn't know he would even know. Who knows Hercules in New York?
This guy knows Hercules in New York. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, we might have a redemption arc for you.
He even has a cameo in a movie starring The Rock and Sean William Scott.
Yeah,
The
Rundown.
Yeah,
he's in the everyone knows The Rundown.
Yeah, but right? Not everyone knows he's in that.
Yeah,
briefly.
Yeah,
like the saddest part about like with me and Arnold is like I was like 22 years old when I first watched Conan.
Okay,
and then like I watched because like there was like right when Netflix put out all these movies, it was like Conan. I was like, I've never seen that one. And then they put the second one out, and I was like, I've never seen that one either.
Well, I would imagine you probably hadn't.
Yeah, it'd be weird if you had seen the second one.
Well, strangely enough, I do remember because there was like when I was watching the second one, I remember there were scenes in there that I was like, man, I've seen this on TV.
Yeah,
like I'm scrolling through the channels and stuff, and I think I've watched like a little bit of like the second one whenever they're going out onto the lake and they're going to that crystal fortress. Yeah, and I was like, oh, dude, I remember this. I think I've seen this. Just the scene.
I will say, I don't remember which one's. The second one is the one with Kareem in it, right?
Yes,
I think so. That sounds right.
Just throwing that out there.
Kareem was also an Airplane.
Kareem wasn't. You know that Airplane's a shot-for-shot remake of a serious movie?
Is it really?
Yes. I forget the name of the movie, but it was literally a shot-for-shot remake of a serious movie. They just made everything fucking goofy.
Interesting.
There's your movie fact for the day.
Okay.
Along with Hercules in New York.
Did you know Hercules in New York?
No, absolutely not.
Well,
I didn't even know it was a movie.
What? What year was that? 80?
Oh shit, that would have been 1970.
70. Yeah, I went a whole decade.
Oh yeah. Like 70 what?
I want to say 76.
No, it was 1970.
It was 1970.
1970.
Okay.
1970?
Yeah.
My mom wasn't even thought of yet.
My parents are much older than yours.
Yeah, because I was going to say my mom was born in 72.
My dad turns 70 this year.
Oh, good for you. Your dad's 69?
Yeah.
Classic.
And your dad is eternally what age?
68. That sucks.
He couldn't have made it one more year.
That's what I said. I actually told him we were going to have a big party for his 69th birthday, and that's probably why he died. He didn't like parties.
Can we just do it anyway?
Yeah, let's do it anyway. Well, Shit. It's past now.
Well,
fuck.
It's past now, so.
What the hell? Oh, we can do it anyway.
We'll do it anyway. So, no, I remember. So, Terminator had to have been the first one.
Terminator 1?
I think so.
You think so?
Honestly. Maybe T2.
I feel like it kind of
bleeds together.
I feel like I saw T2 before Terminator. I don't know why. I mean, I think most people would say this. I definitely prefer Terminator over Terminator 2 to Terminator.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you know, it's still such a fucking good movie.
So,
Michael Biehn.
I would say, dude, my head's still reeling that you know Hercules in New York. So, from there, like probably his big standout role, his first standout role was probably Conan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you get into Terminator. Shortly after that was Commando.
Was Predator before or after Commando?
Predator was after. So Commando was 1985. Predator doesn't come around until 87.
A young Alyssa Milano.
So, yeah, like too young.
Mm-hmm. That didn't say like ooh.
There was a sexualization.
There was no sexualization there.
I was definitely that age watching it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. No, that's okay.
Yeah, and we've had this conversation.
That's
we won't
okay.
get into this on the
that's
podcast.
Okay. We don't need to.
No, people don't need to hear that.
We've derailed enough. So Commando is the next. At this point, I think he's established himself as an action star.
Yeah. And somebody famous, I forget what director, but a famous director told him he needed to to get with a speech coach
Yep.
and get rid of his Austrian accent.
Yeah.
Thank God he didn't listen to whatever.
The only thing, I do remember when they were talking about the movie Commando, one of the things I do remember was the director was telling him, he's like, you have to make more sense.
Yeah.
Like when you're talking, like, you don't make sense. It's not, you're not just throwing out one-liners all the time. Like, you actually have to speak sentences.
Yeah. We'll get to that. The one-liner. Well, I know where you're going. We'll get to that. We will get to that.
You see me squirming already.
Because there is a movie where he's essentially throwing out one-liners.
It is nothing but one-liners.
But we'll get there. We're not quite there yet. So Commando. I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably been about. Let's see. I could probably figure it. I'm going to say it's been 25 years since I've watched Commando.
See, and that's where you're shocked. I know Hercules in New York. I've probably seen Commando 20 plus times in my life, and I watched it within the last 4 years.
And it's not that it's not a good movie. I love these movies. They're great movies. In fact, after doing this, I'm probably going to go and have like a fucking Arnold marathon, because
almost
I'm
like you should have done that before we did a podcast.
Schwarzenegger.
I wish I would have known what we were doing.
Did we not tell you?
I said, what are we working on? And you said that you're going to tell me when I get here.
Did I say that? There's no way
that was
I
a
said
dick
that.
move.
There's no way I said that to you.
That was a dick move, man.
I thought about it, maybe. Maybe I just threw that out
That's
there.
good. So there's no way that I said that to you. That's crazy.
I don't think it's in the group chat.
Yeah, but anyway.
I side hustle him out of that group.
Anyway, I would say so Commando's 85, Predator's 87. Like, these are Commando's like his, to put it into modern, like, let's compare him to like a modern action star or another like big buff guy. That's his Aquaman. Like Jason Momoa, like that. People are going to see Commando. They're going to see Predator. They're going to see these movies because it's Arnold.
Yes.
Because he's massive.
Yeah.
Yes. Because, with Conan, Terminator, it's like, oh, these look like good movies. And look at that guy. Who is that guy? I don't know. He's buff. He fits the role. Look at him.
Yeah.
These now, like mid-'80s, you're getting into like, people know him.
Yeah.
It's
an Arnold Schwarzenegger vehicle.
He is the draw.
Yeah.
He is what's bringing people in. Aside from the fact that Predator had, I mean, dude, there's a lot of beef in that movie.
Oh, there's so much beef.
Carl Weathers.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
What's the guy that I'm thinking about? Sexual Tyrannosaurus.
That's Jesse Ventura that says that.
He's trying to pass around this chew, and nobody wants that shit.
This shit'll make you a sexual tyrannosaurus, just like me.
Former governor.
Yeah. Former governor, current conspiracy theorist.
Oh, true that.
Jesse the Body.
Who would have thought in 1987, watching Predator, hey, two of these guys are going to be United States governors.
Jesus.
We got Governor Schwarzenegger and Governor Ventura.
They just acted out their campaigns.
They were. Yeah. Okay. Well, 87 Predator.
I mean,
and then what was the other 1987 Arnold movie? I know. I feel it. I feel it. The movie of one-liners.
One of my all-time favorites.
The Running Man.
The Running Man.
That's right.
Yeah.
We just spoke about a musical cameo in this film. A massive band, a global phenomenon band, still considered a phenomenal band.
Yes.
They have songs in the billion streams club. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the cameo? It's not even a cameo. He has an actual role in the movie.
I don't. I know we just talked about it, but I don't remember.
It's Mick fucking Fleetwood.
Oh, that's right. We did talk about that.
Because when I saw that, I was like, you could put Mick Fleetwood in front of me.
Yeah.
And I could stare at him for 100 years, and I would never know that was fucking Mick Fleetwood.
Yeah. Who knows what Mick Fleetwood looks like?
Right.
What does he look like?
The guy in the Running Man that's the leader of the resistance.
He looks like the other guy from Fleetwood Mac.
And yeah, I mean, he just balding, white beard. I mean, you would never know that was Mick Fleetwood.
No. No, we talked about that, and like we pulled up pictures, and I pulled up pictures of like Lindsey Buckingham, and it's like at least he has a look of like he is somebody.
Yeah, at least that guy's creative in some way.
Like you're like, oh, you don't like you weren't like a accountant or something.
Mick Fleetwood looks like your friend's grandpa.
I was gonna say he could have done anything. He could have like worked with my dad at a factory and like retired.
Yeah,
and been
if you saw him at your local H&R
he would
block,
definitely he sounds like my grandpa's old drug dealer.
Mick Fleetwood.
Yeah. Working construction.
Yeah.
Going home, having a beer, hitting one up.
Yeah, that's what he looks like. He really does. You wouldn't know it was him.
Second, I think it's the second ever use of of what would become his tagline. The "I'll be back" is obviously Well, no. Does he say it in Terminator?
No,
he says it in Terminator 2 though.
It's only T2. I think.
So then it's
the first one, because at the police station, he's literally going to try to find them at the police station, and when he's leaving, he tells that cop behind the thing. He says, "I'll be back."
Okay, so you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah. So second use. This is the second use of. This is when it becomes a recurring thing. Is Running Man? He tells Killian. He says, "Killian, I'll be back," and then they shoot him down the tube into the arenas.
I just got chills. I actually should probably watch that movie then.
In your butthole.
I've never seen The Running Man.
You've never seen The Running Man?
No.
Okay.
Oh God. What?
Well, I mean, they literally is.
Signing off.
When you were talking about like, oh, you're not just doing a movie of one-liners, like that's what this is.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No.
So that sounds amazing.
What happened to Sub-Zero? I put them on ice.
Yeah.
What happened to Buzzsaw? He had to split.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing throughout the whole game of Running Man as they're killing off the stalkers and shit.
It sounds like
him spitting out one-liners that are just fantastic.
Well, I should probably watch the movie to just get some actual pickup lines from it then.
Yeah. But okay, so I'm going to interject here for just a second. What's the first Arnold movie you watched? What's your favorite Arnold movie?
Okay. Shit. It's actually perfect timing that you brought that up because we're getting there chronologically. So 1988, of all the excellent action movies that are out there, and that's what we're talking about here, but my favorite Arnold role has to be Twins.
I knew you were going to say that.
Shit.
Twins has got to be my favorite
Twins
Arnold movie. Yes, and
you can't pass up Danny DeVito.
It might partially be because of Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Also, just like the constant running joke of like the whole punchline of this entire fucking movie is that these two men are identical twins.
Well, they tell you in the very beginning that Danny DeVito was literally the leftovers of what wasn't perfect for Arnold.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was just like that's what was.
He got height, he had muscle, he had smarts.
Yeah.
He had massive, beautiful calves.
Yeah. So I think that was also, from what I can remember, like obviously we always mock the Arnold voice, or at least like it's an entertaining voice to impersonate. I think that was the first time where they actually used that as like that's the punchline.
Yeah.
Like, that's the joke, and they don't do it a lot. But the one that I remember is him singing Yakety Yak, and he's like, Yakety Yak, don't talk back, and it's like, of course they did that because it's funny. Like, it wasn't like they were like, oh, we're going to have you seriously sing this song, and nobody should laugh at it because that would be rude.
Or how about the fact that the entire time you watch the movie, every time he says his brother's name, Julian.
Yeah.
Julian, it's like, Jesus Christ. Julian, you're hilarious.
Yeah.
So Twins is your favorite?
I think it has to be.
Okay.
It has to be. What about you?
Casey?
Oh, it would have to be Predator.
Jingle All the Way?
That's a good one, too.
It's actually not a bad movie. Like, I'm mocking it. I make fun of it, but it's...
Turbo Man, he was so special in that movie.
It's Turbo time.
It's Turbo time.
Actually,
honestly, the fact that he beat the shit out of so many Santas in that movie. Just made my childhood.
Do you remember
he beat the Big Show up?
I was gonna say the
Big Show.
giant Santa. That was the Big Show.
He beat the shit out of
the
Big Show.
Oh my God, that is Big Show.
So it was before he was Big Show. It was like
the giant.
He was the giant from WCW.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was when he still had like muscle tone. Like
yeah.
when he went to WWE, he still looked pretty good, and then he started.
He had to start gaining weight.
And, yeah.
He had to gain weight. The reason is because they wanted him to be like Andre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Andre was just a big guy. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't cut.
Well, I also
Predator.
read an interview with Eric Bischoff, who was the CEO of WCW, and he said part of that too was just that like Big Show, like Paul White as a talent and as a wrestler, he was like he's the type of person, if you don't push him, he's lazy.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, and I'm not talking shit on him. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm sure. I love Big Show. But he's just saying, like, yeah, like if you don't push him to be ripped, he's not gonna be.
Yeah.
Like
he doesn't have to be.
Like if you're not as a coordinator, as a chairman, as his essentially boss, if you're not saying, hey, you need to hit the gym, you need to stick to this regimen, he's not going to. He's just like, fuck it, dude. I'm big. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't need to be ripped. I'm already
the
bigger than
Big
everybody.
Show. I'm not called the Buff Show.
Right.
And that was your wrestling minute.
Yeah. Wrestling minute. We might end up with a few of those. I mean, we've already talked about Jesse the Body Ventura. So.
I mean, as we do this podcast, so many wrestlers have at least tried. Some have succeeded. Some have succeeded. Some haven't. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this at work one day. There was like in the mid 2000s, 2010s, there was a resurgence. Or I don't know. I said what a resurgence. There was just a surgence, if you will, of WWE or WWF productions.
Yeah.
Buying franchises, and just like there were 7 Marine movies.
Yeah.
They made 3 sequels to Jarhead that have nothing to do with the original Jarhead.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson still.
Yeah, and John Cena. I mean, there are some wrestlers, but like Batista.
I'm glad he's actually getting somewhere.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
You've got those, the Stone Cold in that one fucking movie where people's heads blow up. The game,
the Condemned.
Yes, the Condemned. Yeah,
it was basically like the Hunger Games for adult convicts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So twins. What would you say your favorite was?
Predator.
It had to be Predator. Okay. What about you?
This one's a tough one for me. So obviously Predator is fantastic. Terminator 2 is phenomenal. There are some really good. He's had great action movies. I just think for the comedy of it all, for the just pure Arnoldness that is in the movie, it might have to be Running Man.
See, I mean,
or Netflix's new show Fubar.
Oh shit.
Okay.
I was gonna say the reason. I mean, Predator. They just have so many good names in that movie.
Oh, they do. I mean, it's
that's what I said, dude. It's packed with beef.
Yeah.
So much beef.
I have to interject in here, guys, real quick. I know I wasn't going to talk during this, but if it matters, Predator is my favorite.
It does matter.
It does,
you matter, Rob.
It absolutely matters, Rob.
Rob, you matter.
Talking to the mic,
Thank you guys. But yeah, I was just saying, like,
you matter.
Predator is definitely my favorite album.
Okay, all right. Cut his mic.
Reason
Shut
why?
The fuck up.
But reason why? Now I wanna know the backstory.
Oh, I just got buzzed. All right, I guess I'm out too.
But like, here's my
on
thing
the horn.
I have favorite parts. Like, I have favorite Arnold parts. Like, just the whole ending to Predator, him like gearing up and all that shit, and fighting the Predator. Yeah. Doing the mud thing. I love that.
Oh, I'm getting turned on.
The island, just and a lot of it has to do with the climaxes of his movies. Make me climax. The climax of Commando, when he's got all those fucking weapons, and he's just, he's got 2 M16s, he's fucking shooting those off. He's got the 4 rocket launcher.
Did you know? Side note. In the movie Commando, did you know they had a really tough time putting this body paint on?
Really? I read that.
Yeah. Because he was always just flexing his muscles and making himself sweat. The paint would just run.
That makes sense.
And they said that there was like every single, like they would do like a cut and then they'd have to stop and repaint them. Like that would be awful.
That's crazy.
And then Terminator 2, the minigun scene is one of my favorites.
I was gonna say every time we bring up Commando, our friend Bose is losing his fucking mind listening and watching this right now. You know he is.
Fuck you, Bose.
I was supposed to be on there talking about this shit. Fuck Bose. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Bose.
So it actually turns out
you will be here. You will talk about.
It actually turns out that it looks like overall Running Man's my favorite, but as far as like my favorite Arnold scenes, they almost all involve him just with a big gun.
Okay, well of course. He's got 2 big guns.
True that.
Yeah.
The Desert Eagle in Last Action Hero.
That looked like a freaking 9 mil in his hand.
Yeah.
Hero.
That is what's wild about that. You ever held a Desert Eagle?
Yeah.
No.
It's a big fucking gun.
But not only is it a big fucking gun, but like you have to actually practice with it because that should break the wrist.
The first time I ever shot a Desert Eagle, it scared the shit out of me. And then you watch these movies, Arnold, and I know they're they're blanks, but that's a heavy
it's
fucking
still a shot.
gun. It's got to be enough of a shot to recoil it and chamber the next round.
Oh yeah.
So and just watching that, those guns are fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And he's just no.
Yeah.
Total Recall.
Total Recall. Not actually a big fan of Total Recall. Yeah. Never really was. Maybe it was too weird for me. I don't know.
It's a little out there.
It might be the sci-fi.
And I like some sci-fi. I'm not a huge sci-fi guy.
See, Total Recall might be one of my favorites, and again, I think it all has to do with what I grew up with. Because
so you're changing your answer?
I said one of my favorites.
Well,
my favorite is still Twins. I'm dying on that.
Let's also not neglect the fact that Colin Farrell made a clearly better version.
Total Recall. I enjoyed that.
Time.
I enjoyed that.
They had more money.
Well, again, it's
and you had that beautiful Irish man.
You had 2 more sexual women.
All right,
Kate Beckinsale. I would watch Kate Beckinsale and Colin Farrell go at it just repeatedly.
Okay.
The fact that Jessica Biel was in the movie just
Jessica Biel. Oddly, like one of her sexiest moments was in Chuck and Larry. Yeah.
I was gonna say Blade when she's in the shower, but you don't really get to see anything.
Chuck and Larry,
and she's crying, so it's already.
That makes it even hotter.
That's funny because not to get too like inside jokey, but you know where I'm going with this. So our friend Joe was that his 21st birthday?
Well, I don't know. He died on my birthday.
That's another
inside joke.
That's another inside joke and a long, crazy story.
Yeah, it was his 21st
He's alive.
birthday.
He's alive, guys.
Okay.
He's alive. Don't worry about it.
It was his 21st birthday.
Don't get me wrong. I'll laugh at dead people all the time. I make dead dad jokes.
Yeah.
I make dead dad jokes.
Well, both of his parents are dead, so it's a running joke as well.
Yeah, it's a running man. I'm just trying to keep it within the theme. So, we had a 21st birthday for our friend Joe, who wasn't there for most of the party because his wife, they were just dating at the time, but took him to a Cardinals game, I think, that night.
Went to dinner.
Did this whole thing, and then was like, I'm going to bring him back to the apartment. And
we're all shit-faced.
And all of his friends are going to be there.
We're all shit-faced.
It was supposed to be like a surprise party. He got there. Nobody was prepared. It wasn't like we were like hiding and like, surprise, we had been partying for several hours, and everybody's like, oh, look, who's here? And he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Why are there a bunch of drunks in my apartment?
So our friend Cody, who he lived with at the time, kind of organized that part of it and got so fucking drunk that night. And we still talk about this, and that's why I brought that up, that we're like, he ended up pulling a Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
And like just sitting crying in the shower.
His girlfriend
curled up in the fetal position, like like he just was so fucking gone.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, no. So
I don't remember leaving that night.
Anytime I think of that, Jessica, like I can't even sexualize that. First of all, but even if you were like, "Oh, Jessica Biel in the shower," I'm like, that just makes me think of Cody.
Was that the same night
I will
that
always
he ate?
sexualize crying.
Was that when he ate the
Good Lord.
the bottle cap?
No, it was a different night.
Oh, that was a different night.
It was a different night. We have a lot of good stories, guys. I have so many great stories.
Too much.
And I've actually,
not actiony.
I've actually gotten, I've actually gotten oral several times while a woman cried, and it was usually because of how small my penis was.
Like, you were that girl's rock bottom. How does that feel?
I mean, is it the same if I cried.
I
cried just now
because it's like it's been so long.
I used to tell a joke like I would do at parties. Sometimes I would wind up doing a tight five. Because I would just be telling stories people would be watching. I'd wind up doing like a tight five. And I kid you not, a joke I always told, and I will still tell this to this day, is the thing is, it's true. Not once in my life have I ever woken up next to a woman and gone, oh, fuck, what did I do last night? But I have woken up next to several women in my life that took one look at me and went, oh, fuck, what did I do last night?
My wife does that every morning. Every morning.
Yeah.
She wakes up and she goes, fuck, I had a kid with him too.
I hope she doesn't blame me for the marriage. I married him and his wife.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm an ordained minister, by the way, guys. Fun fact. Anyway, let's get back
what
on
were we talking about?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So we're up to 90.
We're up to 90s.
Are we in the
We're up to
90s yet?
90s. We mentioned Last Action Hero, of course. T2, Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Jimmy Cameron.
So Jimmy Cams, good old Jimmy Cams. Fun. So what kind of like? Obviously, like I said, I kind of grew up watching these movies when I was really young.
Wait, so hold on. Is Raw Deal a 90s movie, or that's an 80s movie?
Did we skip Raw Deal?
I think you skipped Raw Deal.
Really?
Let me check my list.
Another movie I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's 86.
Oh, shit.
So I knew there was something between 85 and 87. So it was, what was 85 was Commando. 86 is Raw Deal.
Yeah.
87 is Predator.
Yeah.
You fucking...
It was all lumped together.
We were going with the better movies.
Also, I'm the one who asked Rob if he could get this soundboard together, and I'm already fucking regretting it.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's time I usurp this podcast.
True Lies. We talked about True Lies.
Yeah, we talked about True Lies, but the Harrier jet...
Yes.
Dinah,
Yes.
jump, Daddy will catch you.
Yes. True Lies is a great fucking movie.
Fucking great movie.
Again, that's in my top. That's got to be top 5.
That is top 5 Arnold movies.
That's top 5
for
Arnold
me.
movies. True Lies. And Jamie Lee Curtis is possibly my favorite actress.
Okay. I don't know if I have a favorite
She's
actress.
up there. That's sexist.
Yeah, it is.
That's the most misogynistic thing you've ever said.
Women can't drive or act.
They can act, they're not allowed to be funny unless they're lesbians.
Well, I mean, some of my favorite actresses were in a series called We Live Together. It's been going on Bang Brothers since mid-2000s.
Okay. I've never heard of it. I'll have to check that one out.
Again, are we sure that we're not putting porn into action?
We're not sure. We're never sure.
We're never
about
sure about anything.
We're never sure about anything.
Are we going to
You're
have an
correct.
episode of just porn?
Who knows?
Because it's action.
Assaconda.
So,
Weirdly enough, also starring John Voight.
Oh, true that.
good for him. He's got range.
He's got range.
He's Adrian Brody. Eat your heart out.
Eat your heart out.
That's an inside joke from us.
Adrian Brody actually played the snake in Anaconda.
That was just Adrian Brody's snake.
Yeah. You want to talk about hogs?
You want to talk about?
Take a look at Lenny.
Oh,
Take a look at snakes, not hogs.
Take a look at Lenny Kravitz's snake.
have you ever seen Lenny Kravitz's Juicy Hog?
Not today.
That actually almost fits with
Not with the
our
lights
joke.
on.
Have you ever seen it though?
No.
Do you remember this was like a couple years ago? God damn it, dude! These are the weirdest stories we're talking about. We're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger action movies. He was playing a concert. Wasn't it like a festival or something?
Yeah, it was a festival, and he crouches down to play his guitar sideways.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Pants split, dong just falls out of his pants.
Just out. He had like these like tight leather pants. He does like a little, like he said, like crouching, like, you know, he like goes down, and as soon as it just splits open.
Are you sure it wasn't his hair? His dreads went down.
Those dreads went down. No, this was
short hair Lenny.
Oh, is it short hair or was it fro?
This is Fro Lenny.
This is Fro Lenny. Okay, so when he was good.
Yeah.
Yes, when he was good. Yes. Does he have the dreads now?
The fro is definitely a more
Is he still
Jewish
making
hairstyle,
music?
by the way. If you're gonna,
Kravitz.
I feel like him going Fro is leaning more into his black and Jewish than just the black.
Okay.
Because at one point he had straight hair, and I was just like,
I don't know, man.
Because he had that album where he's sitting in like blood with like a red guitar, and his hair's like straight.
Oh yeah, it's like flat ironed.
Yeah,
it's like Cat Williams style.
Yeah.
All right, so let's reel it back again to Arnold.
We're about mid-90s into. Incidentally, it's funny because I mentioned Twins as my favorite. One of my least favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies is Junior.
Don't care for it,
and it's not
I should
because
probably watch his movies.
Have you ever seen Junior?
I am.
Have you seen Twins?
Yes, absolutely.
So Junior is also.
I am his alter ego fan.
Okay, that makes sense.
We will be talking about later.
That So Junior is also Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, but it's like he's somehow able, like Schwarzenegger gets pregnant.
It's an experimental thing.
Yeah.
I have honestly not watched this movie in probably 25 years.
He gets pregnant?
Yeah, it's an experimental thing where he gets pregnant through science, and it just
here's the thing.
Does he own Walt Disney?
I actually think in today's political climate that movie would be hailed.
Oh.
Well, and that's not even why I don't like it.
No, me either.
It's literally because it was just like Twins was so good, and then I felt like they were trying to let's capitalize on that and let's do something else that's like, ooh, another experiment. This will be funny, and it's
I think
that is
drove
off
it into the
freaking
ground.
wall though.
But it's also, and I don't think
so is Twins.
I don't think it was that good of a script. I don't think it was that good of a movie.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you're talking about, where they were like, oh, Twins played off really well. He and Danny apparently were very good friends, and they're just like, well, here's another project they can do together.
It's a funny concept to see Arnold Schwarzenegger pregnant.
Right.
Oh.
Like, those are the funny scenes where he's like walking, he's got like the pregnant waddle. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny. I think you lose me at the it's just like Twins where they do this experiment. Had it just been like a super goofy, off the wall kind of like a Zucker Brothers type movie, like Airplane or something, where it's just like, oh look, Arnold Schwarzenegger's pregnant and it's wacky and zany, it would have played better.
Yeah.
When you try to make this whole there's this backstory behind it, and it's like, we did this thing, and then it's like, you're just convoluting.
There is like in the towards the climax, there's emotional drama and stuff where you're like, all right.
It's weird. The movie itself is a little all over
it took itself a little seriously.
It did. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So it took a serious effect.
Not
it's
really.
Still a comedy,
it's
but it
full
also
on a comedy.
took itself and its concept seriously enough.
No,
as opposed to leaning into the cheese.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Had it been like a cheesy, slapsticky kind of look at this big muscle man who's pregnant, but like, okay, that's funny.
Yeah,
it's stupid, but it's funny.
Lean enough into the cheese.
It's like Rob Schneider's a carrot.
Yeah, yes. Had it been one of those if it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger is a pregnant man, it would have been like, that's funny. Right. That they would have got me with that. I think they were noticing this trend because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Schwarzenegger films were probably the first of that, like, you come out with like a cheesy action flick and then you can capitalize on it and be like, let's make sequels, and it doesn't matter that it's the same thing, or let's make something that's similar and it doesn't matter that it's the same thing, people are going to see it. And they tried to capitalize on that with like a comedy with some drama, and that doesn't really work.
No,
it's very much like it has to be this like, oh, are there a lot of parallels from like, one Schwarzenegger movie to another where it's like, oh, that scene looks just like the scene in there. Yeah, but that's exactly what we came here to see.
But do you also think that maybe
No, I don't think anything.
Oh. Well, do you think they're trying to capture women into actually wanting to see his movies? Because, I mean...
No, Junior? I don't think Junior... I don't think there was a target demographic.
Really? And I also genuinely believe that... it was more Arnold wanting to show he had range than anything. And it's not even like it's a movie that proves you have range, right? It's not Jim Carrey doing Man on the Moon or Eternal Sunshine. Like it's not or Adam Sandler doing the
it's not the Truman Show,
the 9/11 movie. What was the
Reign Over Me?
Reign Over Me. It's,
dude, so fucking good.
So good. Yeah,
so good. Have you ever seen The Majestic? With Jim Carrey?
That's the one about the movie theater?
Yeah.
No.
Where he wakes up.
Weird that I asked you if it's about something, and then I'm like, yeah, I didn't see it.
Oh, is that the one he just says the whole plot?
I never saw it.
And then no, I never saw that one. I'm waiting for the book.
But that's how much of a weird movie nerd I am, is like I just know shit about movies, and I'm like, yeah, I just never saw that one.
I never saw that. I never watched Junior. I wanted to read the book first.
Yeah. That's why I still haven't watched.
I don't want to read
Kindergarten
the book
Cop.
either.
Kindergarten Cop.
Because I haven't read the book.
Waiting for the novelization.
No, see, okay, but that's a good example. He had at that point he had already proven that he had range.
Had he?
Kindergarten Cop is a fucking funny movie.
It is.
Twins is a funny movie.
No, it is. But I also think he was trying to get away from. Well, and dude, we see it with a lot of people now. Is like as they get older. I think he has kids at this point. He's trying to get out of doing some of the stuff that his kids can't necessarily watch. Now, Junior's not exactly a kid movie at all.
No,
but.
Kindergarten Cop would be his. That was his family movie, yeah. Until he did Jingle All the Way, but yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, it just didn't really.
It didn't work.
Yeah,
it just didn't work.
No.
So what's after Junior?
After Junior, you have Eraser.
Oh, Eraser. Wait, hold on.
Underrated.
So are you going to mention, I asked Rob about this and he didn't remember. There's another forgotten Arnold Schwarzenegger movie before the year 2000.
End of Days.
Yes.
I knew you were going End of Days.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one remembers this movie. And we'll get to it in a second, but Eraser, phenomenal movie, really cool guns and shit. Again, put guns in Arnold's hands and I'll fucking watch it.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's what people are looking for in a Schwarzenegger movie. And to your point, if you really want women to get interested in Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, just have more shots of him naked in an alley like in T2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those buns.
Although I feel like a lot of women, maybe women our age, not so much, but maybe
Jim, don't know the inner workings of the mind of a woman. Don't even
I like to sometimes dive in.
All right, come on, let's hear it.
I don't think that many women these days are like, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger's so hot. I don't think the bodybuilder is as hot as it was in the 80s
back in the
and
day.
90s.
I was gonna say,
back in the
then.
day.
Because back in the day, you had American Gladiator.
Yeah, you did.
So everybody saw him as like
laser and blazer and all kinds of lasers.
And the women were big, and it's like they
Blade.
Those like
Blazer.
TV shows back then were trying to grab
Blazer.
American Gladiator.
No, I think you're right.
Wolfman was my favorite.
Are we talking about Gladiator still?
Yeah, American Gladiator. No, not Gladiator.
I thought you were talking about the movie Wolfman. I was like, that's not action. Where are we going here?
No, the guy Wolfman.
Yeah.
An American Gladiator. He was my favorite dude. That dude was awesome.
Okay, so we're
never mind.
we're at Eraser.
I was thinking,
Sorry.
did anybody watch the new thing on Netflix about?
Yes, I did.
Which I was
No,
like,
I
did.
Maybe I should have.
I did, but I was like, we could get off on a whole tangent.
We really could,
dude. It's all about the
It's so
steroid
good.
use and the
It's
lack
so
of pay.
good.
Oh, it's fucking
it's
good.
about their relationships and
Yeah. It's
a documentary?
how dangerous it was in the beginning.
It's a documentary or like
it's a documentary?
Yeah, it's a documentary.
and it actually
Okay.
has the people from the show back when it started.
Okay. No, I'll have to check that
it's
one
a
out.
whole ass doc. And it's several episodes long.
Oh, yeah.
It dives into.
Yeah, they're like 40
into
minutes
that.
long and everything.
But Eraser, criminally underrated. The alligator scene is one of my favorites. I mean, it just because that now. We're getting to Arnold leaning into the absurdity of his own career a little bit at this point.
Yes.
Right.
Well, because that same year they released Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point in his career, he's starting to lean into the absurdity that is
and I
his
feel
career.
like so obviously he didn't lose the accent. He didn't work with a dialect coach speech like we talked about. He didn't fix that. But I think in throughout the mid 80s, early 90s, he was trying his best to not be over the top.
Yeah.
And at this point, he was getting into like a sort of like a Christopher Walken, how he just kind of does that voice now.
Yeah.
Where I think Arnold was, mid to late 90s really getting into that, just like, I am Arnold, this is who I am, and just was like, I'm going to just do it because that's what everybody wants to hear.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
That's smart. He's a smart businessman.
So hold on, is Eraser's after Last Action Hero, right?
Yes. We talked about Last Action.
So there's one thing I forgot in Last Action Hero. Greatest movie within a movie that was never actually made.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Is inside. So yeah, I mean, so they've got all the medieval, the castles, the fucking cladding, and then he just fucking breaks out 2 Uzis, and you're like, God damn, I would watch the fuck out of that action movie.
Yep.
And they're in a great Arnold one-liners, to be or not to be. I guess it's not to be, and then like blow some shit up, and you're like, yep. And that's how so 90s is where he really kind of starts to lean into what his career has become. Is like, I think in the 80s when they made all these action movies, they were kind of like, they didn't think of Commando as cheesy, but through the eyes of us, it's cheesy as fuck, but that's part of why we love it.
Yeah.
Back then, it was the gripping, this is the most explosive action movie of 1985.
Yeah.
So then we get to a forgotten movie that I wanted to bring up, because again, I think this is another gear shifting in Arnold's career. And it's called End of Days. The premise of this film is Satan, or the devil, is trying to impregnate a woman and produce his spawn, thus bringing about the end of days. And it's been a while since I've watched it. I'm going to watch that this week. I forget how Arnold gets involved, but basically he's protecting this woman from the devil. But why I feel like it's a shift in his career is it's the first time you really see him. He's got a gray beard. He's a little more grizzled. It's a little bit more, all right, we're kind of entering... We're entering the over the hill version of my career, where like he's not as.
So this is a newer movie.
It's 1999.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I mean it's 25 years old, but it's the end of the 90s. He'd been doing action movies for 20 years at this point. It's where we start to see the more grizzled, the more older, the more older Arnold, right? Like if you go watch some of his newer movies, like there's one right after he became governor called Last Stand. He's the sheriff of a small town, some drug, and he doesn't move as quickly, and that happens to all the action stars. Not that he was ever doing like high flying stunts, but he's leaning into getting older at this point, and that I think End of Days is the start of that. But Matt, after End of Days, you kind of wanted to jump. Then there's a break in his career, honestly, early there in the 2000s.
Well, let's not skip over Batman and Robin real quick.
Some great one-liners in there.
Probably another one of my favorite roles.
Is that 97? Is that 97?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, but are we saying that's the best Batman?
No.
I mean, Bat Nipples.
Them nips.
Okay.
It's the best nips.
Those were the best nips.
Yeah. Those were the best nips.
Best bat nips.
Best codpiece.
I will say that he looked really good, bald and blue.
He did.
He looked the part.
He
man.
had some
like
good
what
blue balls.
What they were going for, he looked the part.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he would have been even cooler if he would have had those red glasses on.
Oh yeah.
Some red glasses.
The old,
and like say some smart shit.
Oh yeah.
I kind of wish they had gone with. I wish they had gone with like the more domed helmet that like the cartoon always had.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instead, they went for this like weird silver spacesuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the neon blue parts of it.
There were a lot of interesting things about
some interesting choices in that film.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what? Hold on. What is the random fact about me that relates me to that movie? And you know this.
Okay. Jim has something that nobody's ever asked for.
Ever.
Is it a picture?
It's a picture.
It's autographed?
It's an autographed picture
of Chris O'Donnell.
What? And the best part is, it's not even just addressed to me. It's addressed to me and my brother.
Yeah, he has
so
shared
we have
custody.
Shared custody of an autograph of Chris O'Donnell.
Yes, Chris O'Donnell. Robin.
Yeah.
the star of the smash hit Vertical Limit.
Now, my mother was working the golf tournament that he was at, but like, as if it would have been really inconvenient for Chris O'Donnell to sign 2 pictures.
He's just too goddamn busy. He was gearing up to make a show with LL Cool J in like 10 years or whatever. So.
Yeah, I think this was around the Vertical Limit time.
That's why I said the smash hit.
Hey, that movie taught me more about. Fuck, I don't even remember.
Nitroglycerin?
Nitroglycerin? What's
the condition?
The pulmonary thing?
Yeah, where they're like,
The whole movie is them afraid to get a chest cold. Pulmonary edema?
Yes.
So, Batman and Robin, then End of Days in 1999. When does he get elected governor?
When was that?
It's like 2007 or 8.
I thought it was earlier than that.
Was it earlier than that? I was in high school.
Well, when did you graduate high school?
2010.
Okay.
I remember freshman year in 2006. I remember like all that stuff going on.
I don't know why I had 02 in my mind.
Or I mean, it might have been even 04.
Because I graduated 07, and 05. I feel like he'd already been governor for a minute.
I'm looking it up right now.
I was assuming so, but you're typing like a fucking 80-year-old man.
Well, okay. While I'm looking it up, why don't we move ahead to? I mean, there wasn't a lot he was doing film wise in the like early mid 2000s.
Around the World in 80 Days.
That and then when you get into like the Expendables.
Yeah. So even the first he's not really in the Expendables he's all that much.
2 minutes in that.
Yeah, the first one he appears very briefly
in that church.
In the church.
Yeah.
Second 2003
is when he got elected. Yep, yes. That's right in line with what I thought. So
I wasn't in high school.
Yeah. I guess I would have been because I graduated 07. But so you have that lag in his career, and then the Expendables films. I love the Expendables movies. Not much for Arnold to do in that. That always disappointed me. That
it was great.
They didn't really get him in the driver's seat or even the passenger seat. I mean, he literally is just briefly in each one of them.
I wonder if there's a reason behind that.
There probably is.
Like, there's got to be some reason why. Like maybe because like everybody else was getting bulked and doing stuff, and maybe he was just like, I'm a governor right now.
I know the reason that Bruce Willis was only in. I think Bruce is only in the first one. He had some ungodly demand for what he wanted to get paid for like 2 days work to be on the second one, and they were like, no, fuck off. Which in a movie like that always kind of bothers me when you hear that there's one of the stars like didn't come back for the sequel because they were demanding too much. It's like these are movies purely for the fans.
Yeah,
you've made enough money in your career.
You are literally trying to get the best of the best action people in just this movie.
Yeah, movies. And so to demand a ridiculous amount of money for 2 days work, where it's like, look, man, we're just trying to get like every 80s action star we can possibly get to be in this fucking movie.
It's a free flight to the freaking place.
Do you really need $10 million for 2 days of work? No.
Yes. Well, no, but yes, you don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, I would love $10 million, but and God rest his soul. I mean, I know he's not dead yet, but
health decline.
Yeah, hell, by the time this comes out, he could be dead for all we know. So you get the Expendables.
Don't say that. I want another Die Hard.
They will replace it. Somebody will remake it.
I want his grandson to be in the next
Somebody will replace it. They'll remake. It'll be Chris Pratt or some shit.
Oh, God.
Please don't say that. Please don't say that. Jurassic World already hurts.
Owen Grady. I mean, I do like Chris Pratt, but it is kind of like the running joke that for a long time he was considered the front runner to replace Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones, and
honestly, if Dwayne Johnson does Die Hard, I wouldn't be.
He's done Die Hard.
Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah, there was. He did Die Hard as an amputee. What the fuck?
What are you talking about?
Oh, dude, there's a movie that is well, first of all, there's like 24 movies that are Die Hard, right? Even Harrison Ford did Air Force One. That's Die Hard on a plane with the president.
Oh, gotcha.
You've got there's like 24 movies that are it's Die Hard, but it's this. So Dwayne The Rock Johnson did a film where he plays an amputee. He's got like a prosthetic leg. And his family's in this giant building in China or some shit, and it gets caught on fire, and he has to make his way up.
Is that with the earthquakes and all that?
No, that's San Jose. Or no, what?
San Andreas.
But it's not that. I don't think. It's a different fucking movie. Anyway, he's already done his own fucking Die Hard movie. You can't have Dwayne The Rock Johnson play John McClane. You need to have a guy like Bruce Willis that was never ripped.
I think he would be good to take over some of Arnie's movies.
Yes. Yeah, he would. I could believe him as a machine. But like, and actually, if you took Owen or no Chris Pratt, if you took Chris Pratt, wow. If you took Chris Pratt when he's playing Andy Dwyer,
Vista, baby, wow.
Hasta la vista, baby, wow. If you took Chris Pratt when he was playing Andy Dwyer, like still chunky,
yeah,
and you made him John McClane, I actually would watch that because like the whole thing about John McClane is he's an average New York cop.
We should probably save this for
the Bruce Willis episode.
Bruce Willis episode. Because I'm starting to agree.
Well, we're starting to fucking we're sitting here trying to fill time waiting for Matt to do whatever the fuck he's trying to do.
Oh no, I'm ready. I was waiting for you guys.
Oh, you could have interjected.
Okay. Well, all right. I think we've done it, man. I think we've kind of wrapped on Arnie. What an amazing career.
Go check out Fubar though. By the way, I do like the show.
Yes.
And there's also, for three of us here work for Subaru, there's a great lesbian Subaru joke in there. That's Fortune Feemster in the show. And she's like, that's the clip you see where she's like, I drive a Subaru because I'm gay.
Yeah. All right. We have a quiz segment that I want to do here. What I'm going to start off with is a qualifying question, and it's going to be a question, has a numerical answer, and whoever gets
Hercules
closest,
in New York.
No, whoever is closest to the correct answer will go first.
Okay.
So I've got a handful of questions here that I'm going to ask. You.
Are you sure you want me to be in this?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So I'm gonna start off with the qualifying question. How many films was Arnold Schwarzenegger in?
In or starring in?
In. All right, Jim's wrong.
I will go with he has been in 57 films.
Okay.
Wow.
What's your guess?
I was guessing a lot lower, but since he loves Arnie, I'm gonna say 65.
65. Jim is closer with 47.
Okay.
47 films.
I feel like
you should have gone lower. What were you gonna go with?
I said 65.
I know. He was closer.
I thought he said 75.
I said
that's
57.
Right. He said 57. Yeah. All right. So here's how this is gonna work.
The fact that I just legit ran through in my head like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm only 10 off.
I
that's
just
pretty
selected his
numbers. So we're calling this segment Pop Quiz Hot Shot. That should be for obvious reasons.
Yeah, if you're an action movie,
action movie fan, hopefully you are because you're listening or watching right now.
It's a reference to the Princess Bride.
You understand why. So Pop Quiz Hot Shot.
Shoot the hostage.
So Jim goes first. Okay. So we already established Arnold's first movie role was Hercules in New York. Under what pseudonym was he acting at that time?
Oh, I have no fucking clue.
Okay, I give him a couple seconds.
Do you have a multiple choice on that one?
I don't.
So these aren't multiple choice questions. I'm screwed.
I can start making multiple choice questions.
Was it was it Arnold something?
Okay, I'll give you that. It was so his first name was
Arnold. He went with something not nearly as Austrian. So like Arnold Smith.
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
That's right.
For a second, I thought you were going to say, fucking, yeah, that's it.
No.
I hate
All right,
this board.
Casey with the chance to steal.
So Arnold. It starts with Arnold. I'm going to say Arnold Schlo.
No. The correct answer was Arnold Strong. You guys were both very close.
Oh, you know what? That
Arnold
makes
Strong.
sense. That
Arnold
makes
Strong.
sense.
All right, back to Jim. In Jingle All the Way, what was the name of Turbo Man's sidekick?
Oh, the furry fucking thing.
Yeah, it was like the pink, like,
I did. Oh,
beast.
fuck. It's a pink furry fucking thing. I don't know his name.
Is that your answer?
That's my answer.
Casey to steal.
Catman.
It's literally on the tip of my tongue. How many seconds do I have? Gizmo. No, that was a gremlin.
5 seconds.
I'm going with Gizmo because I don't know.
No.
I forgot.
The correct answer is Booster.
Booster loaded.
All righty.
Fuck.
Okay, so
0 for 0.
0 for 0. Back to Jim. We mentioned "I'll be back" is obviously a famous tagline famous line from the movie Terminator. This was also mentioned in. Let's see. You brought up that he had definitely used that in other films.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Last Action Hero.
So, the phrase "I'll be back" is brought up in 7 other Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Can you name 3?
Oh shit.
Okay, so Terminator 2.
No, I already mentioned Terminator.
Yeah. So So original is Terminator, and then I got to name 3 more.
3 more.
Last Action Hero.
That's right.
Running Man.
That's right.
Terminator 2.
That's right.
Predator.
Yes.
That's right.
Eraser.
No.
No.
No, but you got 3.
Yeah,
You got 3.
Is True Lies one of them?
No. Commando, Last Action Hero, Predator, Running Man, T2, Total Recall, and Twins.
Twins.
I'm guessing those 2.
All right.
Twins. Basil.
Sticking with Jim since he answered correctly. At what age did Arnold Schwarzenegger become Mr. Universe?
21.
No.
That's right. That's right.
No.
He's terrible with this fucking word. 23.
I think it was 18.
Casey to steal.
18?
No. I'll give you guys each one more guess for that one because you're both getting close.
22.
No. Casey to steal.
I was going to say younger or older. 20.
That's correct.
That's right.
I went the wrong way.
All right. Okay. So we're on Casey. We're at Casey now. What?
1 for 1.
1 for 1, and we're at Casey. Okay.
1 to 1.
1-1.
So in Arnold Schwarzenegger's most destructive role, his character kills 88 people. In what film was this role?
Oh, it's Predator.
Nope. Commando.
Correct.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
That's
the
right.
shooting. In
Yeah,
the,
the whole island
the whole
scene.
island scene.
Yeah.
I was thinking because they
Only kill.
had-
I mean, they only kill a handful of people in Predator.
I'm
and
sitting
then
there thinking. Well, it was a group effort.
Yeah.
And
they
that
killed
wraps
all
it
those
up. Jim wins 2-1.
That's right.
That's right.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been playing for blood. That was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Beer sponsored by One Beer at a Time.
Yep.
A Culture Copia production.
Absolutely. Our next episode in a week is going to be Sylvester Stallone.
Oh.
So
Before we wrap up, then, real quick.
yes,
One of his latest movies, Escape Plan. And we'll touch on it in Sly's segment, but Arnold and Sly, is that their only movie other than the Expendables? I think that's their first star, like they co-star in that movie.
might be.
Perfect.
Yep.
We'll talk about that in Sly.
And we'll see if Casey can win back the championship.
Not the Chuns.
He knows Sly.
Sly is. We've made love.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, like, and follow. And don't hate us. Don't cancel us. Come on. We love you.
I said a lot of shit.